The CBS Sports Spectacular. Today's show is sponsored by Oldsmobile 1980 Cutlass. We've had a Cutlass built for you. And by Schlitz Malt Liquor. Great taste in a classic bottle.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. Welcome to our New York studios for the CBS Sports Spectacular. In that red-hot National League pennant race, the Philadelphia Phillies are trailing the Montreal, Nebraska. Gary Bender covering the U.S. Roller Skating Championships.
And for the second consecutive year, the CBS Sports Spectacular is all set to bring you the United States National Roller Skating Championships. Today, the world team will be selected for the World's Championships. It'll be held in Bogota, Colombia, which will also be televised on CBS. If you were with us last fall in Fort Worth, you might recall we had a most dramatic fall occurring in the pairs competition. We witnessed a fall as Karen Mejia and her partner, Ray Chapata, ran into difficulty. And despite that fall, Karen and Ray finished in second place. An upbeat athletic team, Tina Nisley and Paul Price, went on to win the pairs competition, and they're back again to defend their title today. In the dance competition, the expressive, exciting team of Dan Little and Florette Arsenault captured first place. Today, it's wide open, and many people feel the most exciting competition that they've had in years. I'd like to introduce you to our analysts for our national championship here. This is Mike Fleming, who was a gold medalist in the dance competition as well as a U.S. national champion, coaching some of our outstanding roller skaters today, as well as some names by the name of Olivia Newton-John and Ben Vereen. Mike, they say it's wide open, that we've had so many champions retire that it's really going to be interesting to see what happens.
That's right. In the men's singles event, we have a very, very close competition between Michael Glatz and Rick Ellsworth. Very, very close. In the pairs event, Paul Price and Tina Nisley are the favorites, of course, because they've won this division the last 2 years. However, the team holding second currently is Robert Haydick and his sister Kathy. They have won every lower pairs division that there is in roller skating. This is their big debut in the senior event.
Well, let's begin our coverage, and we've come to the dance competition, and you're looking at the results of the compulsories. Kirchner and Todd in first. Richardson along with Valente in second place. And this is Mark Howard, 20 years old, from Charlotte, North Carolina, and Cindy Smith, who's 19 years old, from Petersburg, Virginia. They were third in the Nationals in 1979, fifth at the Worlds. And Mike, as they come into this routine, just how much do the compulsories count?
Well, the compulsory dance scores are made up of 4 dances, and those scores will count 50% of the entire event.
This is the 10th Nationals for these two together. They won the silver medal at the 1979 Pan Am Games.
You can see that they really show that they're into the music. A lot of changes, hand position, body positions.
Later, we're going to be showing the pairs competition. What is the big difference between the dance competition we're seeing now and the pairs?
Well, in the dance competition, the teams are not allowed to do lifts over their heads or spins of more than 1.5 revolutions. The free dance may not be the most athletic event, but I feel it's probably the most artistic and the most interpretive, and it by far has the most difficult footwork. Now we're getting into some nice folk music. This seems to be a big thing at the last 2 national championships. Nice footwork. This team is very, very aggressive. Makes them a real crowd pleaser.
Well, Mark has a coach that he knows very well, that being his father. He's been skating since he's been age 2.
It must be difficult being coached by your father. Nice pull through.
Mark Howard and Cindy Smith in the dance competition.
We'll be back with the leaders, Kirshner and Todd, in just a moment.
We now come to the favorites, the leaders after the compulsory. 20-year-old Charles Kirshner and 21-year-old Linda Todd. Mike talked with them earlier about their conditioning.
Well, mainly the past years I've skated other events like freestyle and speed skating, but the main thing we do is just repetition of routines and dances.
Linda, do you enjoy doing compulsory dance or free dance better?
I'd say free dance, because I feel more natural at free dance. It's just, it's an inner me to just be able to smile and to show off, and I like to please the crowd and stuff like that.
And you're going to see that smile. Look at it. Linda Todd from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and Kirshner, who's from Riverside, New Jersey. They started skating together 5 years ago. They were fourth in the Nationals in 1979.
This team is very, very strong and has always been one of my favorites. I've watched them grow up in this sport. Linda's just dynamite.
Mike, I'm interested. They were fourth in the Nationals. Why can they so quickly become the favorites?
Well, this particular team works very, very hard, and I think that's probably about 90% of the battle right there. They're very hard workers. They know what they're doing. Nice body positions. You can see that they really skate for the crowd. One of the things that judges like to see are nice, strong edges. That's a very difficult move, back spiral. This is what I love. Boy, they can really get into their music. You can see it right on their faces. This team also uses a lot of complementary steps. Nice step over. You can see this team really changes mood, but that's because their music has so many variations in it. They've already used 5 cuts. This is one of the things that judges look for. They have a lot of difficult content. Again, they're making use of those lips, but those lips complement the music.
Look at that smile by Linda. What a tremendous performance here by Charles Kirshner and Linda Todd. Linda said she likes to sell the performance to the audience. And look at the audience. I believe they bought it. They really enjoyed this performance by these two. They're going to be tough to beat, Mike.
Well, that's for sure, Gary. You can see in this replay just the reason why they're going to be tough to beat. They sure use their bodies to make use of their arm positions. Strong moves. Okay, let's go to floor side now with Gary.
You went for it. You didn't go conservative at all, did you?
No, not at all.
I was interested. You put the death spiral in. That's taking a chance, isn't it?
Oh, yes, of course, especially, you know, out in front of everyone here, but we went all out and did our best.
Do you think this is the best you've ever skated?
Yeah, probably, but the floor's a little slippery, but we still skated good.
The thing that gets me is the intricate footwork. You really move fast.
Well, we take from our pros, and they just teach, and we do our best, and that's what I can say.
Great job.
You're in first, and we'll wait and see if you stay there. Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now on the floor, here's William Richardson and Holly Valenti. They're in second place after the compulsories. And Gary, here's another team that's moving up.
They're newcomers. They were fifth in the Nationals in 1979. Holly is 18 years old. William is 22 years old. He's from Boston. Holly's from Westfield, Massachusetts.
Gary, they have a very theatrical routine. And that corresponds with William's courses in drama in school.
William started skating at the age of 7. He's now a waiter at a disco club. And Holly started skating at 9 years of age, and she just graduated from Westfield High School.
You can see that their costumes really reflect the music they're skating to. Not only the costumes, but the expressions on their faces. Another thing about this team is they're very well matched. Their partner's ability, they're both the same. Makes them a strong-looking team.
Being newcomers, what kind of pressure do they have?
They have quite a bit. There's some strong teams in them with them this year. Particularly the last team, Kirshner and Todd. Going to have to skate to pull that second up. One thing I like about this team is they really make use of the entire floor area. It shows their strength and their speed. Beautiful performance.
William Richardson and Holly Valenti. And we're going to be back with the official results in the dance competition when we return in just a moment.
Live next up.
And there are our winners, Linda Todd and Charles Kirshner in the dance competition. Finishing in second place, William Richardson and Holly Valenti, Mark Howard and Cindy Smith in third. And remember, all three of these teams will be going to the Worlds, which will be televised on the CBS Sports Spectacular. We'll be back with the pairs and singles competition later on in the show. But right now, let's go to Dick Stockton.
Stanford leading Oklahoma now 31-8. Get with the conclusion chips from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Welcome back to our coverage of the United States Roller Skating Championships in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Gary Bender along with Mike Fleming. And as we get ready for the pairs competition, we wanted to show you the highlights of the singles competition that's already taken place. In the women's division, our winner was Kathleen O'Brien DeFelice, 22 years old from Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
Kathleen had some very difficult spins and some nice triple jumps. She's by far the champion. You know, Gary, Kathleen won, but it was sure not the best performance I've ever seen her skate.
runner-up was Tina Nisley, 17 years old from Marion, Ohio. The first time that she skated in the singles competition. We'll be seeing her in the pairs division in a little while.
Skating in singles and then going to pairs, that's going to be very difficult for Tina to do. It's a lot of endurance. Tina also had some difficulties in her performance.
And in the men's singles, capturing first place was Michael Glass. He's 19 years old from Lemon Grove, California.
You know, Gary, these skaters had some problems this year. They're very talented skaters, but they sure didn't skate up to par.
They're going to have to get ready for the Worlds. Go back to the drawing board.
A little unsure of that landing there, Michael.
This is Rick Ellsworth, 22-year-old pre-med student from Grand Blanc, Michigan. He was second.
Rick is very, very powerful. You can see it in the muscles in his arms and legs.
We're now ready to begin the pairs competition. Rick will be skating with Anne-Marie Green. You know, every sport has its technical terms. The airplane in skating, in layman's terms, is a spectacular lift.
What do you think about, Anne-Marie, when you're up in an airplane?
I just think about staying straight and hoping that Rick doesn't drop me.
Well, they should be concerned because these two have only been skating together 3 months.
But you know, Gary, they're a very strong team, and both have extensive backgrounds in pairs with other partners. So just for them getting together, it might not be quite as difficult as people think. Over the head camel. Nice extensions. And there comes the airplane. Nicely executed. Now they're showing the strength with some side-by-side double lutzes. Unison was not very good. Going to have some problems there.
Mike, we should mention that unlike the dance, there were no compulsories. And so, in effect, they have a one-shot chance.
One shot, that's all they've got. They're starting to slow down a little bit now towards the end of this routine. That could pose some problems to them. Cartwheel. One-handed Kennedy.
Rick Ellsworth and Anne-Marie Green. First, as we have seen in this pairs competition. Crowd appreciated that. And Mike, let's go back now and replay and watch it again.
Okay, this is that one-handed Kennedy lift. Now going into it, she spikes off. She's held above with two hands. And then they let go with one. This is a very difficult move. And I must say, though, that they executed it very well, especially here at the landing.
We're going to be back with the defending champions in the pairs competition, Tina Nisley and Paul Price, in just a moment. Back in Lincoln, Nebraska, the United States Roller Skating Championships. The pairs competition. And you're watching Robert Haydick and Kathy Haydick, brother and sister from Brook Park, Ohio. Kathy's 15, Robert is 17 years old, and this is their first year in the senior division after having won every pairs division since 1976.
Gary, these two are definitely the stars of the future. Their routine just goes and goes. There's an original around the neck move. Nice. Side-by-side doublets, and oh, Robert fell out of that. That's going to hurt him.
Mike, do you think the judges will be more critical or more sympathetic their first time in this division?
Gary, that shouldn't really influence them one way or another. But they are going to have to recover after that. This team has some very, very nice death spirals. You can see even in the slow music, they're still very powerful and very aggressive. Beautiful throw double loop. It's a reverse press. This is a very difficult move for a young team, and they executed it very well. Nice spin, change, outer back camel. You know, Gary, both of these skaters are very strong individually. They both have large backgrounds in single skating.
What do you think? First time out? Are they a little tense?
Yes, this team, you can see they're skating very well, but you can see they don't have quite the polish yet of a senior team. And of course, that will come with experience, and they're going to be around for an awful long time. Impossible spin with a twist. Beautiful ending for Robert and Kathy Haydick. Excellent performance for their first time out. Let's go to Gary now with Robert and Kathy down in Forsyth.
Robert, Kathy, from the junior to the seniors, how do you feel?
Oh, very good, very good.
You really had some original things. I think that's what impressed everyone.
Yeah, the snake lift, the wraparound, whatever you want to call it. All it is just throw up and she twists it on my neck, and it's very, very simple.
Congratulations, both of you.
Thank you very much.
And here are two-time defending national champions, Paul Price and Tina Knisley. Earlier, I talked to Tina regarding her skating in singles and pairs competition.
I don't think there will be any problem with stamina. When we practice at home, we do our routines one after the other to build the stamina up. And I think my singles elimination, or the singles final, will probably just be a warm-up, and I'll be getting used to the floor and let some of the tension go for the pairs.
We should mention also, Mike, that Paul skated in the singles, so he has to be a little concerned, I would think, about stamina.
That's right. It really does affect the skaters to have to skate twice. Makes it very difficult to come back after skating 4 minutes and have to reskate. Opening their program, there were some beautiful side-by-side double loops.
These two practice 30 hours a week together.
Gary, coming up here is going to be one of the most difficult moves in pairs. A throw double loop. And look at the height she has. You can see this team really has it together. Side-by-side butterflies, that's getting to be their trademark. There's a reverse layout. Twist to a cartwheel. Very nice combination. You can see this team really moves. A lot of peppy footwork.
They said they love to skate for crowds.
A one-handed chairlift. Very difficult. They really have some tough content in this routine. Unison's off a little bit there on those outer back camels. Shouldn't hurt them too much.
What dedication these two have, Mike. Tina and Paul traveled 250 miles round trip for their practice sessions during the week.
That's a lot of dedication. But of course, most of these world-class skaters are very dedicated. They'll do anything to practice. Even being toward the end of the routine, they still have a lot of stamina. Look at them go.
Now, Mike, there was some concern about Paul's hand. You could see it's taped. That's going to be tough in that routine.
Yeah, Paul pulled some ligaments in a practice, but you can't tell it the way he's skating. Cartwheel. You should be coming up to the last move now in the routine. Camel change and outer back camel. Beautiful routine.
Is that good enough to make it 3 in a row?
That should do it. That should wrap it up. I think the crowd thinks this is going to be 3 in a row also. Let's go to Gary now with Paul and Tina.
Okay, you put about as much into 5 minutes as possible in roller skating.
Thank you. We try to get everything in as we can.
Remarkable. The audience loved you.
I had a good time out there.
Did you have a good time?
Really did.
When does that start happening? The very moment you get on the floor?
When the people start applauding, we start doing content.
Well, congratulations. Very well done. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
We'll be right back with the final results of the pairs competition in just a moment.
The results are in the pairs competition, and for the 3rd year in a row, the U.S. national champions, Tina Isley and Paul Price. They'll be headed to the Worlds, as will the other 2 teams, finishing in 2nd and 3rd position. The teenagers, the Haydukes, finishing in 3rd. In 2nd place, Anne-Marie Green and Rick Ellsworth. The U.S. Nationals are over, and the team that will be representing the United States in the Worlds being introduced just behind us to this crowd. And this reminder, you will see the World Championship from Bogota, Colombia, right here on CBS. Mike, how do you think they'll do in the Worlds?
Gary, I think this is probably the strongest U.S. team we've ever had to go to the World Meet. I think our strong event is going to be the pairs again. You know, we dominated that last year, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, a big sweep for us. And I think possibly the men's singles, because of the separation of those figures again, I have a feeling our single events are going to be a lot better this year, too. Our dance events, we've always done well in dance, and with Pershing inside, that's my bet for this year.
Mike, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Gary.
For Mike Fleming, I'm Gary Bender. Now...